Hey, Flo here, back for another Bible reading. Yet another recorded one that I'll have to upload later. Oh man, this is going to be a ton of work after this day. It kind of sucks because there's less than zero, like negative signal if there is such a thing. There's zero cell signal here. I'm basically down in the middle of that giant crater that I'd been talking about the last couple streams. Or last couple videos. I don't know how these will be uploaded, but anyway, as I suspected, I kind of knew this just based on the geology that I could see from various maps. This is definitely a former lake, and this meadow, I've known about for years. I've seen it on the satellite view and just all my searching around, so I knew it would be cool and worthwhile visiting. Speaking of which, I'm sort of reassessing the angle. I might move the camera in a minute, but this is pretty large meadow, but it is just a blip, like on the giant center of this crater. It's huge. The crater's huge, and this is just a tiny portion of it covered by the meadow, but it's obvious that there was a lake right here. I think there was probably a lake that filled the majority, if not the entire crater as well. At one time, probably hundreds of years ago, when there was more snow and glaciers and stuff. But anyway, this is cool. You can just see like this type of weird plant like stuff is just exactly the kind of stuff that you see in the middle of lakes that have dried up or whatever. So it feels like, it's possible that maybe certain times of year there's actually some water here. I don't know, because it looks so fresh, like it's still like just recently was a lake or something is kind of what it looks like. But I don't know, I kind of liked how it looked over here, but let me see if the camera agrees. Sometimes what I see doesn't translate well to the camera, but I thought this looked kind of like a nice angle right here. Oops. Oh. If I can get this maneuvered. Let's see though, where should I sit? I guess kind of in that same spot, but I need to move my chair so it's in the light a little bit more, I guess. This would probably work better with the wide angle, but I don't really like using the wide angle lens. Let me look at it first here. Nah. Well, I don't know, it looks kind of nice, but I guess. I don't like my wide angle lens. It's not as good of a quality. So it doesn't usually look as good in the recordings, but we'll try. I like the angle that it offers sometimes, but the quality of the recording is not as good typically. Okay, so I need to move just in front of that tree a little bit, or out from behind this tree. Probably about right there. Oh, this will probably be the last reading I do. That's annoying. That puts me too far toward the center. I like being off on one side. Maybe, I think I see a spot I can sit. I'm hoping to get to some lake, like a lake and some... Wow, there's a big old mushroom right there. Where was I looking? I think right here. But with all the Bible readings, I tend to go a lot slower in my exploration. So I'm not sure how much I'll actually do today. I think it's probably, as usual, my list is too large of things I'd like to explore. Normally I could easily accomplish it, but when I'm going at this slower pace to do the Bible readings, I never get as much done as I think I will. Oh, it's so annoying that there's no signal here because have to do so much editing later. Yuck. I bet like certain times a day or year or whatever, this place is a massive hot spot for animals. Deer grazing. I mean, I can see the deer poop all over the place, so it's pretty obvious. But I want to go out here. This will give you a sense of scale, but also I want to see if there's still any soft, marshy, or even like a little tiny pool of water out here in the center, because it looks kind of like that sort of vegetation that might still have a bit of water. Yeah, there is. There's a tiny... Oh yeah, it's getting goopy. I'm not going to go any further. It's basically, yeah, like a... I bet this is almost for sure a seasonal lake where certain times a year, well, at least a pond anyway. At one time it was probably a giant lake, but cool. Well, that answers that question. Yeah, this is guaranteed to be a very popular place for various animals, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if hunters come here too for that very reason. Alright, well that explains why this kind of lake bed vegetation is here. These little spotty patches of clumps of grass. Oh, I forgot where my camera was. Okay. Alright, my curiosity is satisfied. Whew. Yeah, I bet if you're an animal photographer or just kind of like seeing animals, you could just hang out here and be really quiet, maybe kind of hide in the trees, and eventually you'd spot something out here. Ooh. I'm sure they're more active in the evening and at night, though. It's usually the case. Most animals. Seems kind of weird that so many animals, at least the ones that live around here, are nocturnal. Ugh. Large portion of them. It's kind of a blessing though, because like things like bears and cougars, I don't particularly want to run into those, so if I'm not out at night, it's not likely to happen. Not that they're not out in the day as well, but pretty much most animals are more active at night. Or at least in the evening and stuff. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do the old nasty junk way to on this reading. I have to use this app and overlay these slides later. It'll take a million years to do it. Oh well. Oh boy. I keep talking about making a truly 100% offline Bible reading app, or a Bible. I mean, I don't know if the slides aspect can be accomplished, because unless I use some kind of local network thing, which I've thought about, but I don't know how to do that. Might just see if I can get AI to do it one of these days, but I have too many things going right now. But I keep thinking about that project, and I've asked AI before, and I've gotten some answers. It's like, oh, you could try this or that. But I think one thing that might work is running a local server, like if I had a Raspberry Pi, or even set up an app on my phone that runs like a local Wi-Fi network kind of thing, and it hosts some kind of local host website that can somehow send data between two phones. I don't know. I have no idea how that would work, but I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just, even a native app, which I've never developed native apps, so I don't have a clue how that works, but I'm sure there's a way to communicate data from that phone right there to this phone and vice versa, using some kind of technology, web, Wi-Fi, or a Bluetooth something or other, but I don't know how to do it. So my app that I made requires internet to work, and so when there's zero cell signal, I can't have the slides on the screen, which really sucks. Okay, so I'm going to be reading almost the rest of Proverbs, it looks like. I think there's 30 chapters, or 30, 31. We're going to be reading Proverbs 25 to 29 and 2 Corinthians 9. So let's just get into it. It'll take a while. Proverbs are kind of slow going. What was that? 25 to 29. It's cool. I'm glad I came here. Like, this isn't like the most amazing destination. I have a couple places in mind that'll be potentially way more spectacular, but in uniqueness, this is pretty high on the list it scores high because it's not every day that I go explore a meadow. Like, it's pretty rare, actually. So, and I don't even know of that many meadows. The only real way to find them typically is to look for them on satellite view, and I haven't spotted very many. And so, yeah, it's kind of a rare treat, but at the same time, I'm hoping to get to some other places, so hopefully I don't end up spending all day here, but shouldn't take too long. Proverbs chapter 25. These are additional proverbs of Solomon, which were copied by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to search it out. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings cannot be searched. Remove the dross from silver, and a vessel for a silversmith will come forth. Remove the wicked from the king's presence, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not exalt yourself in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the place of great men. For it is better that he says to you, "Come up here," than that you should be demoted in the presence of the prince. Even what you have seen with your own eyes, do not bring hastily to court. Otherwise, what will you do in the end when your neighbor puts you to shame? Argue your case with your neighbor without betraying another's confidence, lest the one who hears may disgrace you, and your infamy will never. Lest the one who hears may disgrace you, and your infamy never go away. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is a wise man's rebuke to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is the man who boasts of gifts never given. Though patience a ruler can be persuaded, Through patience a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. If you find honey, eat just what you need, lest you have too much and vomit it up. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, lest he grow weary and hate you. Like a club or sword or sharp arrow is a man who bears false witness against his neighbor. Like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint is confidence in a faithless man in time of trouble. Like one who removes a garment on a cold day, or vinegar poured on a wound, is one who Like one who removes a garment on a cold day, or vinegar poured on a wound, is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For in so doing you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. As the north wind brings forth rain, so a backbiting tongue brings angry looks. Better to live on a corner of the roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a weary soul is good news from a distant land. Like a muddied spring or a polluted well is a righteous man who gives way to the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, or to search out one's own glory. Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who does not control his temper. I haven't really decided how I'm going to edit these yet because I'm so far behind in my editing, but kind of thinking I might read these slower. Like I haven't been consistent thus far, but from now on at least, read them slower and then maybe not even edit out the blank spots like I normally do. I usually kind of condense the time and make all the pauses like about a second long between sentences and stuff. But with these, I feel like you need a little bit longer to think about it, and if I just make it too fast of a clip on the editing, it'll just be like, whoa, boom, boom, it's too much. I don't know, we'll see. I'd prefer if I could just say it perfectly without any errors and have a consistent speed and stuff. I would prefer not to do any editing at all on these and just like chop the beginning and the end and that's it. But I always make mistakes, and then I have these awkward pauses where I'm like looking at it, trying to prepare to read it. So I have to edit them, but it kind of makes the videos look a little bit choppy. But oh well, it's just the way it is. Oh, well, I'm thinking about it. I did actually remember to do this after I ended the video at that giant log. I almost forgot, but I did remember at the end. Proverbs chapter 26. Like snow in summer and rain at harvest, honor does not befit a fool. Like a fluttering sparrow or darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he become wise in his own eyes. Like cutting off one's own feet or drinking violence is the sending of a message by the hand of a fool. Like lame legs hanging limp is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. Like binding a stone into a sling is the giving of honor to a fool. Like a thorn that falls into the hand of a drunkard is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. Like an archer who wounds at random is he who fires. Like an archer who wounds at random is he who hires a fool or passerby. As a dog returns to its vomit. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. The slacker says, "A lion is in the road. A fierce lion roams the public square." As a door turns on its hinges, so the slacker turns on his bed. The slacker buries his hand in the dish. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. The slacker is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who answer discreetly. Like one who grabs a dog by the ears is a passerby who meddles in a quarrel not his own. Like a madman shooting firebrands and deadly arrows, so is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, "I was only joking." Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, a conflict ceases. Like charcoal for embers and wood for fire, so is a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels that go down into the inmost being. Like glaze covering an earthen vessel are burning lips and a wicked heart. A hateful man disguises himself with his speech, but he lays up deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for 7 abominations fill his heart. Though his hatred is concealed by deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. He who digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone will have it roll back on him. A lying tongue hates those it crushes, and a flattering mouth causes ruin. Proverbs chapter 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand is a burden, but aggravation from a fool outweighs them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is like a flood, but who can withstand jealousy? Better an open rebuke than love that is concealed. The wounds of a friend are faithful, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The soul that is full loathes honey, but to a hungry soul any bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that strays from its nest is a man who wanders from his home. Oil and incense bring joy to the heart, and the sweetness of a friend is counsel to the soul. Do not forsake your friend or your father's friend, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, so that I can answer him who taunts me. The prudent see danger and take cover, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Take the garment of him who posts security for a stranger. Get collateral if it is for a foreigner. If one blesses his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be counted to him as a curse. A constant dripping on a rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Restraining her is like holding back the wind, or grasping oil with one's right hand. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who looks after his master will be honored. As water reflects the face, so the heart reflects the true man. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. A crucible for silver and a furnace for gold, but a man is tested by the praise accorded him. Though you grind a fool like grain with mortar and a pestle, yet his folly will not depart from him. Be sure to know the state of your flocks, and pay close attention to your herds. For riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure to every generation. When hay is removed and new growth appears, and the grain from the hills is gathered, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed you, food for your household, and nourishment for your maidservants. Proverbs chapter 28. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. A land in rebellion has many rulers, but a man of understanding and knowledge maintains order. A destitute leader who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no food. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law resist them. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord comprehend fully. Better a poor man who walks with integrity than a rich man whose ways are perverse. A discerning son keeps the law, but a companion of gluttons disgraces his father. He who increases his wealth by interest and usury lays up for one who is He who increases his wealth by interest and usury lays up for one who is kind to the poor. He who increases his wealth by interest and usury lays it up for one who is kind to the poor. Whoever turns his ear away from hearing the law, even his prayer is detestable. He who leads the upright along the path of evil will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit what is good. A rich man is wise in his own eyes, but a poor man with discernment sees through him. When the righteous triumph, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, men hide themselves. He who conceals his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them will find mercy. Blessed is the man who is always reverent, but he who hardens his heart falls into trouble. Like a roaring lion or a charging bear is a wicked ruler over a helpless people. A leader who lacks judgment is also a great oppressor, but he who hates dishonest profit will prolong his days. A man burdened with blood guilt will flee into the pit. Let no one support him. He who walks with integrity will be kept safe, but whoever is perverse in his ways will suddenly fall. The one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but one eager to be rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, yet a man will do wrong for a piece of bread. A stingy man hastens after wealth, and does not know that poverty awaits him. He who rebukes a man will later find more favor than one who flatters with his tongue. He who robs his father or mother says, "It is not wrong." He who robs his father or mother, saying, "It is not wrong," is a companion to the man who destroys. A greedy man stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will prosper. He who trusts in himself is a fool, but one who walks in wisdom will be safe. Whoever gives to the poor will not be in need, but he who hides his eyes will receive many curses. When the wicked come to power, people hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous flourish. Proverbs chapter 29. A man who remains stiff-necked after much reproof will suddenly be shattered beyond recovery. When the righteous flourish, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. By justice, a king By justice, a king brings stability to the land, but a man who exacts tribute demolishes it. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. An evil man is caught by his own sin, but a righteous one sings and rejoices. The righteous consider the cause of the poor, but the wicked have no regard for such concerns. Mockers inflame a city, but the wise turn away anger. If a wise man goes to court with a fool, there will be raving and laughing with no resolution. Men of bloodshed hate a blameless man, but the upright care for his life. A fool vents all his anger, but a wise man holds it back. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials will be wicked. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common: the Lord gives light to the eyes of both. A king who judges the poor with fairness, his throne will be established forever. A rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. When the wicked thrive, rebellion increases, but the righteous will see their downfall. Discipline your son, and he will give you rest. He will bring delight to your soul. Where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. A servant cannot be corrected by words alone. Though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for him. A servant pampered from his youth will bring grief in the end. An angry man stirs up dissension, and a hot-tempered man abounds in transgression. A man's pride will bring him low, but a humble spirit will obtain honor. A partner to a thief hates his own soul. He receives the oath, but does not testify. The fear of man is a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is set securely on high. Many seek the ruler's favor, but a man receives justice from the Lord. An unjust man is detestable to the righteous, and one whose way is upright is detestable to the wicked. All right, one more chapter here. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. Now about the service to the saints, there is no need for me to write to you, for I know your eagerness to help, and I have been boasting to the Macedonians that since last year you in Achaia were prepared to give, and your zeal has stirred most of them to do likewise. But I am sending the brothers in order that our boasting about you in this matter should not prove empty, but that you will be prepared, just as I said. Otherwise, if any Macedonians come with me and find you unprepared, we, to say nothing of you, would be ashamed of having been so confident. So I thought it necessary to urge the brothers to visit you beforehand and make arrangements for the bountiful gift you had promised. This way your gift will be prepared generously and not begrudgingly. Remember this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not out of regret or compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. As it is written, He has scattered abroad His gifts to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. Now He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your store of seed, and will Now He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply My tongue is twisted. Now He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your store of seed, and will increase the harvest of your righteousness. You will be enriched in every way to be generous on every occasion, so that through us your giving will produce thanksgiving to God. For this ministry of service is not only supplying the needs of the saints, but it is also overflowing in many expressions of thanksgiving to God. Because of the proof this ministry provides, the saints will glorify God for your obedience. Because of the proof this ministry provides, the saints will glorify God for your obedient confession of the gospel of Christ, and for the generosity of your contribution to them and to all the others. And their prayers for you will express their affection for you, because of the surpassing grace God has given you. Thanks be to God for His indescribable gift. All right, made it. I'm not going to dilly-dally. I don't have much to talk about this time. I'm going to try to find, I know there's a path out of this crater somewhere. I'll look at my map and head that direction. And I think I have some other places in mind. I can't believe it's already like almost 1 p.m., but that's all right. Let's see, I've done 3 readings already, so that's cool. If I can do like a whole week, that's always kind of my target. I think the most frustrating or whatever thing that's going on today is just my not having a cell signal, so I'm just realizing how much work this is going to be later to do all this editing, but one of these days, I don't like AI much. I mean, I'm using it a lot. I'm making a bunch of scripts, and maybe I'll talk about that later. I made another couple scripts recently that are pretty cool, but generally I don't know. I kind of hope it just levels out or goes away for a while, or it doesn't, I don't know, it's too much hype and too much progress. It's kind of overwhelming, and it's going to leave us all in the dust if it doesn't just plateau or level off at some point. But anyway, I don't even know why I was saying that. Oh, but yeah, even though I don't really like AI, I kind of wish it would at least progress to the point where the transcription service stuff, like the LLMs that process transcribing and, that subtitle stuff, would get so accurate that it's like microsecond or millisecond accuracy, because then I could use it to automatically edit my videos without me having to do it manually. But kind of selfish, because at the same time, I'm actually really enjoying the editing, because that's where I've grown maybe the most with the Lord, is those after times of revisiting, like months later. The readings that we did live on stream are relatively close to the time that they were uploaded for my main channel and Go with the Flow or Flow, whatever. Months later, after I finally catch up in my editing, maybe even a year from now, by the time I do it, I get to review it again. So it's kind of like, because when I'm reading these things on stream or live for these videos, I'm really just struggling and concentrating to try to get the reading out smoothly and not make a bunch of mistakes. And then, so I'm not really absorbing it as much mentally or spiritually, I think. I'm still glad I'm doing it, but it's really the editing process that I just kind of like mull over it, and it takes so long that I hear it like 50 times. And that's where the real spiritual growth and consideration is increasing. So I shouldn't complain about it, but at the same time, I'm so far behind, and I'd like the process to be a little bit faster, even if it's not fully automated. So I'm trying to make it faster, but it's only so much I can do with that. But anyway, I'm going to head out. I like this meadow and whatnot, but I need to get on with it. Get on with things. What was that? That was weird. I guess just the feet were sunk into this kind of marshy stuff. I bet the water comes all the way up here, just considering the appearance of this grass. It looks like those little clumps always make me think like there's a lake here. And now that I've confirmed that there is kind of a pond out in the middle, I bet it does get more water certain times of the year. Anyway, I'm going to head out, so we'll see you soon. Hopefully I can do an actual live stream and not have to do all this extra editing. And I kind of like the live streams anyway, because then I can maybe talk to somebody if they're on my channel and whatever. But anyway, these will get uploaded at some point. Probably not tonight, because it's going to take forever to do the editing, but I don't know, in the next week or so. All right, we'll catch you later.